Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield 3 related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. If you'd like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. So to get things started, the first question for today comes in from the Quad Launchers, who asks, I wanted to know your thoughts on the teaser trailer for the end game and the new Capture the Flag mode. I'm once again skeptical about this DLC. I think Capture the Flag would be great on the Aftermath maps, but the map that was in the trailer looked like an armored kill map that would give the guy with the flag plenty of places to hide and just walk right around the enemy. I just don't see it working well, and I see as of now another failing DLC. So I'm not too concerned with these issues that you've brought up. I have some problems of my own that I'll talk about here in a second. But to address yours, if you remember in the trailer, the guy that was running the flag, it was a recon, and the flag itself was gigantic. It was even larger than he was. And so the notion of being able to just kind of sneak around the enemy team or to use brush or cover to hide the thing, I don't think is really going to be a problem. If someone is looking in your general direction, they're going to be able to spot you simply because the flag is just that gigantic. Another reason why I don't think it's going to be an issue is because if you remember also in the trailer, the mini-map during that one section of the video, you could see the enemy flag on the minimap. And so I'm assuming this is also going to be true for yours, and to be able to pinpoint the exact, there might be some delay like it is in the Call of Duty franchise, but it's probably going to be pretty easy to identify where the target is. If they have your flag, you're going to know the general direction of them. And so like I said, I don't think your issues are going to be a problem. Where I'm kind of concerned about the game mode is that it's going to devolve into more of a team deathmatch where you have a gigantic map. No one's going to want to try to capture the flag or get the flag because no one, they probably are all playing solo, and to run across the entire, like, let's say this was on Caspian border, to run from one side of the map to the other would take forever. You're going to have to use vehicles, and you're probably going to need someone to drive you or to be kind of your escort. And if you're not playing with someone, you're going to have to run on your own. You're going to have to do it yourself. And Capture the Flag is a very team-oriented game if you want to be successful. And I'm not saying that Battlefielders can't be team-oriented. A lot of people do like to play the objective, but when there's only one objective and you have to not die and you have to escort that thing all the way back to your base, it requires a lot of teamwork. And so my worry is that people are just going to camp. They're just going to sit in the corner and wait for people to try to capture it, and then they're just going to blow them out of the water, and it's just going to be a stalemate back and forth where no one can get anywhere, no one can capture the flag, and that's my worry. I have hope that it's going to be a fun new addition to Battlefield 3, but I do have my concerns. So the next question for today comes in from Adam, who asks, hey, do you think it is a good idea that Battlefield 4 is coming out so early? I love the difference between Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3, and I doubt I will be impressed with the same amount of change for Battlefield 4. Do you think it will be almost identical / very similar? So I'm not exactly sure if you're looking at this with the right perspective, because Battlefield 2 came out a really long time ago, and it's not like they all of a sudden just started working on Battlefield 3 right after that game came out. I mean, that's just not how things have worked. They came out with Battlefield 2142, the Bad Company series, and now, of course, Battlefield 3. And they've kind of been on this 2-year cycle where they come out with a new Battlefield game, in that time frame. And that's just kind of how things have been. And if you think about it, it's been a steady progression where each game they try to switch things up. They don't do anything dramatic by any means. I think probably the most dramatic change has been for Battlefield 3, where they have now the Frostbite 2 engine, and they can make things on such a larger scale, and the graphics are just so intense. But it's been a very steady progression. I mean, if you look at the differences between Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3, you wouldn't notice much of a change. I mean, it's got vehicle combat. While it's not on such a large scale where you can have jets, you still have helicopters, tanks, and jeeps. You have destruction. I know a lot of people criticize Battlefield 3 for not having as large of destruction as Bad Company 2, but it's still in there. You have a very similar class balance, and the only thing that I can significantly say is a lot different between the two titles is that Bad Company 2 is more infantry based. They're not on as large of a scale, and that's probably due in part for the engine and just kind of the design of the game. And so I'm kind of expecting a similar difference for Battlefield 4. While I'm hoping that they do make things fresh and innovative, I don't want it just to be a clone of Battlefield 3 and just a giant map pack for $50. I want them to try to mix things up. I'm not expecting large sweeping changes. I'd probably expect what they did, or pretty much about the same difference what they did for Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3. So the final question for the day comes in from one Kiro, who asks, so I am a competitive player on the European scene, and this leads me to ask your opinion about competitive players on public servers. I mean, as you notice yourself, skilled players get constantly treated as cheaters or hackers. So what should we do? Only play between ourselves? I mean, we love that game and have the right to have fun. Yeah, absolutely. You have every right to play on public servers, and I would ignore those people that are just calling you a cheater or a hacker. It happens to me every once in a while. I'm not the best player, but sometimes I go on some pretty awesome kill streaks. And if I look up in the chat window, there will be someone up there that are crying hacks, and I will take it as a compliment. I'll be like, thank you. It's always flattering when I am doing so well that people think that I'm hacking. You know, you're just so good at this game that it almost looks mechanical, and that's a very high praise, and take it as a high praise. If you're getting overwhelmed by accusations, then just ignore them completely. Just don't even think about it, because like I said, you have every right to play this game. You spent as much money as they did to have fun on these public servers, and screw them. As long as you're not getting banned from servers because of bad server admins, I really don't think it's that large of a problem. But yeah, those are all the questions I'm going to be answering for today. I would love to know what you thought about these 3 topics. Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to submit your own question to be featured in a future episode, you can do so, like I said, by leaving a comment or by sending me a YouTube message. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.